Let's go. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Hold the Vision podcast. I am your host, Chidi, Chidi Bang Bang, Bex, whatever you want to call me. So this week we have three topics for you as per, and we do have an Ask Millie question, which I will ask when Millie arrives, or when she's here. I am joined by Richie. Richie was on with us last week. Hey, Richie.
Hey, evening everyone.
You were going to say, how are you? So, I'm going to go for it, yeah? So, the topics we have for you tonight are men's mental health, and because it's like Men's Mental Health Month, isn't it, June? So I thought we would talk about that. Milan gave me that as a topic. Something to talk about?
I just realised that earlier.
Oh, well,
I saw that podcast I sent you.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, it must be Mental Health Week.
And then, yeah, man, I think it's something that definitely needs to be spoken on. It's not spoken about enough, I feel, anyway. And then our second topic is teachers on a power trip. And I will give you like a little bit of context to that, but it is self-explanatory. So we're going to talk about that. And our third and final topic is going to be the benefits of abstinence. And that's kind of on par with what we were talking about last week when we touched on like semen retention, those kind of things. So we'll have a good chat about that. So for our first topic this evening, which is men's mental health, Richie, talk to me. You're a man. How's your mental health, babes?
It's more stable these days.
Okay.
Because back when I was growing up, it was a bit mad.
Okay.
Well, not even mad, but it was just. I feel like my situation is a bit unique compared to some people because I'm my only child and growing up like quite outskirts of London.
Okay.
I wasn't around. Like I was quite isolated, and so I think I wasn't. I'm like it's very overprotected by my parents as well. Like I wasn't allowed out and stuff like that. So I think I had to. I feel like we're looking back on it now because there's so much to the story. I don't want to go into all of it now, but
no, please.
I feel like because I was so isolated and so kind of kept in the house, my brain had to like invent scenarios just to keep my mind occupied.
Okay.
So that kind of led to like paranoia and stuff like that. OCD they call it. So yeah, and then a whole kind of just kind of went through kind of life a bit like that.
So do you find
going seeing different therapists and stuff like that? So yeah, I've been around, yeah.
Okay. Do you find that it kind of forced you into sort of like overthinking, and then you would get yourself into a bit of a rut?
Yeah, it was just kind of like I'd invent stuff to think about.
Okay.
All right. Hi.
Hi. And here we are, joined by the Miss Milan. Fashionably and beautifully late. Keisha, here she is. It's about that time.
In a minute, fashionably late. Hi guys. So I definitely lost track of time. And I saw the message like we're going on in 5.
Yeah.
And then it's like my time like slowed down, but actual time kept going.
Yeah.
So then what I thought was 5 minutes, I looked at the time and it was 1/2 past. I said, shit.
Yeah, time is speeding up. So it's annoying.
If you ever see the way I was running around my house, like I'm not even ready. I didn't even have a drink. Oh mate, but I'm here now. We'll talk about. Let's go.
We're touching on our first topic, which is men's mental health, which is actually the topic that you sent in, the topic that you wanted to talk about, my darling. And Richie was just saying to me, I said to Richie, you're a man, talk to us. And he was just basically explaining about the fact that he was an only child, so he was quite isolated and grew up on the outskirts of London and stuff. And we were just talking about Richie. Do you want to kind of just refresh our latecomer on what we were talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Milan.
Tell him about themselves.
Fashionably late.
Oh, shit.
yeah, so that's kind of my story. It wasn't that deep, really. I mean, there's a lot more to it, but yeah, just being isolated and not really doing much because I think because I didn't have a lot of family around me, I didn't really do that much. So I was kind of stuck in the house just watching TV. So I could quote you all like the lyric, all the script to Friends and Simpsons, but being out like streetwise, like it took me a while to kind of
Did you grow up
get
on an
into. So
estate or on a street?
I was in a house, and I think probably what saved me is because I had both my parents as well.
It must be nice.
So that was, I think that helped.
I know. Do you find, like growing up obviously with both parents, a young black boy growing up with both parents, are your parents still together? If you don't mind me asking.
No, my dad died like 2011, so a while back now, but they were still together. Yeah. So I think growing up, and then like when you get older and you start meeting people, and you're like, it's a bit rare to have, especially black kids like have both their parents in the house.
Yeah, for real, it really is. I think definitely from a cultural aspect, it definitely is a rare thing, and I feel like that does play a big part in like sort of men's mental health as well. Your upbringing, who you have around you, the influences. You are a product of your environment. So yeah, having both parents growing up as a young black man, you're blessed, man. Really blessed.
Yeah, so that kind of, because my dad was there, but I think especially for men, we're talking about men, having your dad there or a male figure, someone with like knowledge and wisdom is like super important.
Yeah.
Because I have to go on a mission later in life just to kind of just searching for guys that I could learn from.
Okay.
So yeah, YouTube was like a godsend for me, really. I always think of that. Like, it seems like a little thing, but I've learned so much from just looking at different guys on there.
Okay.
But I think that's a big thing.
So you found like a lot of guidance and a lot of inspiration on there by watching these like sort of male figures out there. Okay, cool.
And it's such a big topic because it's like you go into I normally would go into the conspiracy aspect of it because I think there's a war on men.
Okay.
To keep them out of the house.
Okay.
And then women do all the work, so then guys are suffering for that.
Okay.
You always get the argument of can a woman raise a boy or a man, and not really. You need a man to show him how to conduct yourself. Really.
Okay. So and touching on that as well. So I went to an event on Sunday. It's like a podcasting panel event, and one of the topics on there, they were saying, can our sons of single mothers, are they more likely to be taken advantage of by women? And it was, for me personally, knowing that my brother is he's a man of a single mother, brought up by a single mother, and no, he's not. If anything, I think it forced him to be more masculine, and then I think because he kind of forced our masculinity upon himself, because he didn't want to be like some of the male role models around him and stuff. It kind of sort of does mess with your mental health when you feel that you have to be the man of the house and you have to be that that male sort of energy and everything. I think it's a lot of pressure on young men, especially now. Like there's always there's a narrative in it. Oh, you have to be a certain way, or you have to be making a certain amount of money by a certain age, and you have to be doing this and you have to be doing that, and you have to be respected. But it's like within all that, I think society puts a lot of pressure on men, just in general. A lot of men are not allowed to be emotional because then they're considered feminine or in their feminine energy. And yeah, I just think it's bullshit. But do you know, like in the area I live in, there was like a mad streak of male suicide, like just for years running, there was just bare male suicides, and that was because of pressure. Like every single
Because of what?
they just all felt like that. You know, there was one, he was pressured because he had to take care of his family, and it just all got too much for him. Like literally got too much for him. And then there was one, and I feel like he was battling with certain things within himself, and because he couldn't turn to his friends and he couldn't turn to his community and stuff, he just decided to end it all. And it was just, yeah, it was just a lot. I'm just going to read a couple of the comments. So Shantae says, an emotionally balanced man. And MK says, societal standards suck. A lot of male suicide in my family also. Okay, Kay. God, yeah. Yeah, I know that Kaylee's experienced that as well and been through that. So yeah, Mills, what are your views on men's mental health?
So I brought the topic up because a few incidences have happened over the past couple of weeks. Like nothing big, just like small things. But it's just like, why is it different for a guy than it is for a girl? So one of my friends wanted something from Costco. So I have a Costco card. He asked me to see how much such something is. And I'm like, I'm not going all the way there just to see how much it is. And then I was like, oh, you can give them a call. So I've called and asked how much whatever it was is. But there was two different sizes. So I only got the price for like one. So I've called him back like, oh, this is the price, da 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 da. And he's like, no, the other one. And I'm like, well, call Costco. Like, I'm not your PA. Call Costco. He is now called on the same number, and before they've even given him an answer, they're asking him for like his Costco card, that number. But I never got answered. So he's called me back, like, why would you get me to call them when you're supposed to have a number? I'm like, what are you on about? I'm like, I'll call them back.
You need a number just to even inquire about a product.
Him, he did. I didn't. So I've then called back on the same number, and I'm like, hi, I was just inquiring about the price of da-da-da-da-da. And the woman's like, yeah, that's fine. Told me the price. So, like, why did he need the Costco number and I didn't? And I hadn't given over my name or my address or nothing. So they didn't even know I had a Costco card. But they had given me the information that I needed instantly and was making it problems for him. Why?
That's
weird.
Yeah. Did he ask why?
Oh no, he just got pissed off and
he got
pissed off and hung up. So it's like that's crazy. And then like I don't know, not the industry I work in, but in the sector that I work in, like for a man, it's like a single man, a man with kids to get housing is so hard, but for a woman, it's nothing. If a woman comes in and she's homeless with a kid, all that she has to prove is like why she's homeless. If like a single male comes in with a kid, the first thing we're asking him is to prove, first of all, that child is his, and second of all, that he has custody of the child.
Okay.
But I could walk in with any baby and be like, I'm homeless. And obviously, further down the line, they will then ask questions and they're going to need the birth certificate of the child and the birth certificate or whatever. But you're asking a woman that further down the line. You're asking a man that as soon as he comes in. Do you know what I mean? Like,
that's interesting because I never heard stuff like that, really.
It's mad.
Because I know back in the day, like, just my dad would like ask my mum to do stuff. And I'm like, you could do that. But she's like, oh, my mum would get a better response. Yeah. And so that still happens today.
Still happens today. It's
women.
crazy.
I feel like women have got like an advantage though. There's a lot of things as women, males, you get me. Like there's a lot of things we can get away with. There's a lot of things that we can make happen as well, just for the fact that we are women. Good evening, everyone who's joined. Big up Poetic Justice. If you're not following Poetic Justice, please go and follow her and the I Am Pillow Talks podcast. I Am Pillow Talks with a Z, go and follow, please. I'm just going to read a couple of the comments. So Kay says, I've got to say, I've just been to Download Festival, and so many of the male frontmen of these metal bands reminding men that their mental health is important and it's not weak to speak. It's nice to see in the alternative community. Yeah, that's beautiful, and I feel like that's what it is. Not a lot of people are saying it. There's not enough. I feel like, especially if it would come from men, for men to say, do you know what? It's okay for you to. It's not a weakness to feel vulnerable. It's not a weakness if you're feeling emotional or feeling down. Go and talk to somebody, and that's what there's a lack of. Yeah, there are a lot of people who do sort of support, men's mental health and stuff. But what are people actually doing about it? They're not really. I've always felt like no one's actually doing anything. There's all these organisations, but what is people actually actively doing?
It's actually great that you're seeing this, because the thing is, I've mentioned these things in the past.
Okay.
Just like different people work and stuff like that, and people, especially women, have looked at me like I'm crazy.
Is it?
Like they can't believe that these things are happening, or they can't put themselves like in our shoes at all. So I seem like I'm nuts.
No.
But like I do keep saying that there is a war on masculinity, and the thing is that in the end, it affects women as well, because now you don't have husbands or kind of mentally stable men around you. You will suffer for that. So at some point, someone has to recognize. But that's really why a lot of these movements, like Red Pill, the Andrew Tates, the Kevin Samuels, that's why these guys exist. Yeah. Because these things are real. They might not go about it the best way, but those guys are necessary to affect change.
Yeah, very necessary. And I think, like I was having a conversation earlier on about like Andrew Tate and stuff, and I actually don't hate the guy. I just personally don't believe all this shit that they're putting out there. I just feel like because he's out there and he's speaking out and stuff, they'll just try and say anything to tear him down. It's a bit of a, I don't know, it's just a bit weird to me. It just seems a bit mad. So I'm going to read a couple of these comments. Poetic Justice says, so true, Chidzz. And I know that she feels very strongly about men's mental health, and that what people can actively be doing to make a change, and to create spaces like safe spaces for men to go, and for, the places for men to just turn to, because there's such a lack of, and to me it's just wild to me that there's not, like, even in my workplace, I know that, as women, we're a bit more open when they're speaking about certain things, but when it comes to men won't. They'll just carry on and carry on. But it should be out there for them. It should be said to them, look, if you ever need to talk, or if you need a place to go, we're here. And it's not said to them. Poetic Justice says the agenda is real. Shantae says there's a lack of safe spaces for men to speak and to be vulnerable about their emotions. Very true. And because of this, when one opens up for them, they are hesitant and untrusting. Poetic Justice says people listen to Tate. That's why they're onto him. Yes. That's my biggest thing. I feel like because they listen to him and he's a voice, they just want to rip him down. Because
and he's not stopping.
And he's not stopping. And do you know what? I got to give it to the man. I got to give it to him for this drive, for his passion, for his perseverance. Because my man, he is not being quiet, and I rate him for that. This is why I don't believe he's done what they're saying that he's done. I just really don't. I don't know.
Because whoever the powers that be, they will put like worse charges on you. So they'll put rape and child stuff just to make him shut up.
Yeah, or to make people say, oh, like, I'm not supporting that. Oh my God, he's this, he's that, whatever.
They've done it so many times before.
Come on, they definitely have. Poetic Justice says, and he's Muslim. Yeah, see it right there. Mills. You're a mother of a son. You're a mother of a future man. Do you know what I mean? So what would you like to see put in place for, to support men's mental health? What's one thing that you would like to see?
I don't even know how you can help it, because, like, as a woman, I feel like it's just more like socially acceptable to speak about your feelings, because you don't see posts asking, do you know what I mean, like, about women asking. So if there is like help out there, I don't know, I'd have to Google it or go doctors or something. Do you know what I mean? The only reason why I think it's more accepted is because like it's more socially like accepted, where it's not as socially accepted for a man to speak about it. But you know, I don't know any charities that are there for like women or men that would help with mental health. Like,
there's different organizations and stuff. I mean, I've got so much written down. Like, this is a deep topic for me, especially the whole thing. But because I think all roads lead back to feminism.
Okay.
I feel like women were empowered, rightfully so. Because I mean, you lot were getting a hard deal, but then you've been elevated so high that men have had to be relegated. And now men are kind of disrespected, because it's like, what are you for?
Yeah.
Because now, women, you don't need us in a lot of ways now. So now it's automatic. Like, well, what's the point of you? Because I've heard that from a lot of women as well. It's surprising. Of like, what's the point of men? I've heard that so much.
No, that's mental though, because I feel like that's just a like a narrative that's been forced on like by society. And it's just, men are needed. Men do matter. Men are, as much as a woman is, you know, all right, she can bear children, she's the nurturer, she's this, that, and the other. But we still need men. Men are also nurturers. Men are, there are single fathers out there. There are, do you know what I mean? It's not just women who do these things. And, you know, women are fighting for the same rights. They fought for so many years to have the same rights as men. And I feel like they've kind of overstepped the mark a little bit in that sense, because, like, you know, women are supposed to possess feminine energy, but now they feel that they possess masculine energy to the point where they don't need a man. They don't, all right, yeah, women can do shit. Like, I'm a woman, I can do enough shit that a man can do, but I still need a man. Like, I still need that male energy. I still need that, you know, like, it was just like for instance, the other day I was in a situation where, and nothing really intimidates me or makes me feel any type of way, but it was just like a situation I was in, and the man who was around me actually made me feel safe by doing the bare minimum. It was a small gesture, but it made the situation so much easier. And I feel like if another woman was there, they wouldn't have been able to support me in the way that man did. Do you get
it's just like having
a
puzzle, though. Do you know what I mean? Like, to have a puzzle, if you have a piece missing, well, it's not complete. Do you know what I mean? So no matter if the puzzle's got 6 pieces, 100 pieces, 1,000 pieces, if one piece is missing, it's still, so you could be like 1,000-piece puzzle as a woman. But hold on, I'm not even good at maths, fucking out. If you've only got 999 pieces of your puzzle, do you know what I mean? There's still that one piece that you don't have. And you'll never have it. Do you know what I mean? Because you're out here being like, I don't need a man. Well, now your puzzle looks shit. Do you know what I mean? The picture's not perfect, because it just isn't. Do you know what I mean? So it doesn't matter how many pieces you put together. You can't just put like a sticky tape over it and be like, oh, it's alright. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it just doesn't work. Everybody needs the other person, whether that's a man or a woman. But whether you need to be a 50-50, 20-80. I'm going to stop with the maths because it's hurting my head. But do you know what I mean? Like, whatever your mathematics is for your relationship, whether that's friendship, family, or a relationship, do you know what I mean? You need your other half.
Milan, I love that, man.
Yeah, Kay's got a good point there, because she's saying, is it now the case of wanting men to embrace femininity and their feelings? That's it. Like, they want men to be women. Or like they're trying to switch like the genders, and that's why we got all this gender confusion and all this stuff. They want it to be confused.
Hey, trust me, today a guy come in a leotard and tights.
Okay.
Where was you going? where was you going?
And they the thing is, they kind of use women against yourself.
Oh yeah.
Because I feel like, because we're in this kind of gynocentric sort of society now, where it's like women are kind of in power, kind of, But it's like, I feel like women don't like definitions. Like, I don't think women like when you say you're this and you should be like this and this and this. But men need that.
Oh yeah.
Men need that structure and be said, you're this and you need to act like this, this and this. But no one's saying it. No one can actually define masculinity. I don't feel like anyone feels like it's necessary, but it really is.
No, it definitely is necessary. I'm going to read a couple of the comments out. So Perfect Justice says, we need you. We've been made to think that we don't. So true. Jam Ent says, when they say that, it's a load of nonsense. Shantae says, men need reassurance, the same as us women. They need reassurance that there are safe spaces for them to be vulnerable. Richie, I disagree wholeheartedly with those women. I am a woman who can and will admit that I need men. Poetic Justice says, I definitely need a man. I want and need a man in my life. They complete the puzzle. And she said, ha ha, males, great minds think alike. Shantae says, it's because masculinity is not to be defined. It just is. It needs room to just be. Love that. Absolutely love that. And I think men should be able to be comfortable and be unapologetically, live unapologetically in their masculine energy. How many men, like, you know, when you see confident men, or when people see confident men and they're speaking out and they're saying what they need to say, oh, he's arrogant, oh, he's living in his ego, oh, they're getting torn down. And then if a man is vulnerable or he's, able to express his emotions, oh, he's weak. Or he's
but I feel like though it's generational, you know, like, and we're slowly, like very slowly, we're going at like a snail's pace, but we're slowly getting to the point where soon men will be socially, not that they're not socially able to, but it will be like more socially acceptable for them to be more emotional, because do you know what I'm saying, like our granddads are all what, like 80, 90, do you know what I mean? So you know, soon it's going to be their time. Then we've got our dads who are seeing the world as it is like now, but they still have that generational thoughts from their fathers, but they're going to be gone soon. I'm not wishing no one's grandparent dead, by the way, before someone comes at me. So then our fathers, cool, we've now had kids, and do you know what I mean? So pretty soon, at a snail's pace, I feel like it will get better for like men to be able to be more emotional within themselves and around other people as well, because that type of generational thinking is slowly dying out. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The thing is, we have to appreciate each other's kind of natures and learn about it more. Because the thing is, I will disagree with Shantae, and I will talk to her. Shantae, I will talk to you about this later as well. But because you're saying that men need to just be, but really we do need to define it. Like there is, if anyone took the time, like you have to read certain books and know about it, but you can actually define masculinity and men. Because being a man is about freedom and purpose. So it's these kind of words that we needed to hear growing up, and say, well, you need to find a purpose and direction. Because because the thing is, you realize that when you start dating women and they want you to like lead and take them places, and you're like, well, I was never taught that.
Yes, yeah.
Or just they want you to have like women want you to have an idea of like, oh, where are we going? I'm like, oh shit, I need to think like, I need to think of an idea and plan it, and let's go here and have the money and da da da. So we learn that we need to have direction and purpose for things. So
I 100% agree, and I feel like it is about what you're told. Like I know that my brother being around the hella women is just not, my family is made up of majority of women, but the men in our family are they're adults. Do you get me? It's like you're a man. We speak power into them. Do you get me? Because it's important to, because where they're so dominated by feminine energy, they need to be reminded, you are a man, you are masculine, you are strong, you are this, that, and the other. And that's just how we've always been like the men that gassed up a bit in my family, and then with me, like when my male friends and like any relationships I've been in, they can't believe how I am towards men. They're like, "Rah, like, how are you this way?" And I said, because I come from I come from a family that is predominantly women, so masculine energy is everything to me. Do you know what I mean?
Did you have your dad there?
I lost my dad when I was 9, so for me it was. And like for years, I went for years just like hating men because obviously there was a lack of. Do you know what I mean? My dad, the way I looked at it is, you had the damn cheek to go and die when I was 9. Like, you're rude, didn't it? So I just had no respect. That's where it stemmed from, and I just had no respect for men. And then unfortunately, after that, the masculine energy that the guy that my mum met after that, he was no good. So I had such a big lack of respect for men until I kind of remembered where I was from and what my dad stood for and the men in my family. And then I kind of remembered, do you know what I mean? But it's so easy to fall off and just diss men and say men ain't shit and they ain't this and they ain't that. But, when men are doing it to women, it's a different story. Like, people will say, you can't say that, you must respect women, but then nobody's screaming and saying, you can't say that, you must respect men. No one's doing it. And then that's why men are out here suffering, really. That's what I believe, anyway.
Because to be fair to women as well, like, men aren't in a great position at the moment. We're not doing that great as men. So I can understand when women say all these things and you lost faith in us.
But why are you not doing great as men, though? But why? Like, there's many reasons, but I feel like one of the reasons is being torn down by women.
Well, yeah, like I said, going back to feminism, it kind of started a whole thing where now, because men were disrespected in the first place, dads started to forget or just kind of feel unimportant. So, and lose their purpose, so they just started leaving the family.
Yeah.
So from that point, little boys growing up didn't have a father figure, so they didn't know how to conduct themselves at all. And then that's just started the cycle. So now we're in this kind of time where you've got Red Pill and you've got all these men's movements. Men are starting to relearn what it is to be a man. And it's still at the beginning stages. That's why you're seeing all these kind of angry men that are like saying, "Oh, women need to do this, and women need to be accountable," and da da da. So they don't really get it yet. So I've been in that space for time now.
Okay.
So I've kind of learned a lot of the stuff. So I'm seeing guys that are getting into it just now. They're just beginning, so they don't really get the whole thing.
Yeah.
Right now they're getting into it and be like, "Oh, women are like this," and they're pissed because no one told them, and they don't know how to. They don't understand women.
Yeah.
So they're pissed.
Yeah.
So until they get a bit more knowledge and wisdom, women are going to be getting a hard time still from men that are just, because I bump into a lot of these guys as well, especially being in South London.
Yeah.
There's a lot of guys that just see women a certain way, of just to be used, really, and don't really know what women are for and how men and women work together.
So true. Do you know what? Like, from that event that I went to on Sunday, I dropped a little scenario in one of the topics, and I said that I went out on 12 dates with a guy, and I didn't sleep with him. But I went out on 12 dates. Oh my God, you should have seen the way everybody came for me. When I say everybody, it was the men. You should have seen the way they came for me. What? So you went out with him, 12 times and you never give him nothing? You think you could do that to me? Listen, the way they went for me, so you know me anyway, how I say. I'm controversial in that sense, where I like to put shit out there like that. Because come for me and I'll come for you harder, innit? But the way they came for me was so low vibing. It was so low vibing. It actually, it just did my head in. Like, and you had True Talk was there. You get me? There was the Empress was there. Empress was she will say, and luckily, There was a lot of people who understood. They understood where I was coming from, and they had my back. I'm allowed to go out on 12 dates with a guy and decide that he's not for me, and I don't have to sleep with him.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get me? But the mindset of a lot of these men, yeah, from South London, yeah, it was mental. It was mental. I was like, you know what? Fucking hell. But it was what it was, and it is what it is. But it was great. I'm going to read a couple of these comments. So Kay says, 100% Mills. I think it's time for men to learn to become more vulnerable to those around them. But I think women would appreciate a little more vulnerability, especially if it's under the surface and the man is hiding it. Shantae says, Richie, for clarity, are you saying that men need to be programmed, put in a box, versus being their authentic self? There's a bit of feedback on your end, Rishi. If you have another phone close, you may need to mute it. Hard-bodied glam official said, leave South alone.
Oh,
Now,
that's
South's all right.
my still.
I want to call him Jack so I can say what I like. No, but it was honestly, it was shocking. It was so shocking to actually hear the mental. I don't know if it was just a clout thing or I don't know, but it was mental. But they wasn't gonna tear me down. My hashtag was 12 dates deep. That was my hashtag for the day. I
But it's true,
represented
but I don't
it.
understand why men are like, you never gave him nothing. I gave you my fucking time. I gave you the opportunity to get to know me. I gave you, do you know what I mean? Like, I was giving you energy. And you just wanted to fuck. If you would have told me that, then we could have saved the 12 fucking dates and we could have just fucked. Like, what, you're dating me to fuck me, or you're dating me to be in a relationship with me, or to get to know me, to see if you want to be in a relationship, or to see if you just want to be friends. Like, make it make sense.
Make it make sense. This is why. This is what separates Group A from Group B, guys, and we are Group A at the top, yeah, because we are, anyway, we are who we are, and I'm very proud. I'm very, very fucking proud. Do you get me? And the thing is, like, they were coming at me and they were like, yeah, well, you were just stringing along. No, I wasn't. I was very clear with my intentions. I said, I'm not sleeping with you. Yeah, you can take me out. Yeah, you can spend time with me. Yes, you can get to know me. And then if I like you, I like you. If I don't, I don't. And I didn't. So 12 dates deep. And what? I enjoyed my food all 12 times. Do you get me? And we move. We keep it moving. And it's like, this is what I mean. And then sometimes, so it's so hard. Like, in one aspect, you've got men then who are actually not like that. But then those men get treated differently because of those kind of men. Do you know what I'm saying? I think it's a little bit. It's a little bit.
I think there's feedback. Someone might need to mute and speak. I don't know if it's me or.
What's wrong?
I don't know if there's feedback. I don't know who it is.
Oh, right. Okay.
Can you hear me okay now? It might have been my earpiece, but I took it out. Is that any better?
It's a bit muffly now.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah. Let me hold on.
Little bit.
And now?
Oh,
yeah, that was very good.
that was nice.
Very good. But guys, yeah, so I think, in summary, men's mental health, we could talk about this literally all day. And it's a very deep topic. And I think it's something we need to touch on. Maybe get another man in as well.
Yeah, we might have to. Yeah, it'd be good. Yeah, it would have been good to have another guy here. But
yeah,
I feel like if we do another one, because I've got so many notes, but
I could, definitely.
It will take.
But he couldn't make it this week, but we will get another man on and we will have this discussion. We will continue it. So it says to be continued, guys. I'm going to move on to the next topic, which is teachers and being on a power trip. A teacher's power tricky. I feel like they are. Being one myself, I know I'm that cool teacher who my kids love, and they're like, Chidi's cool, a teacher's cool, do you get me? But then you've got some teachers who are dickheads, and I'll say that. I feel like you've got, sometimes, like, see with my child, yeah, I'll speak from personal experience. She is very intelligent, yeah, and she will not say anything unless she's done research on it and she knows she's correct, because she doesn't like being wrong. And she will, like, there's one certain teacher in her school who likes to argue the toss with her, like literally arguing with her like she's the same age as her. And it's mental, and I've tried and tried and tried, and when it comes to me being in that teacher's presence, they're like, oh no, she's a very bright girl, and they do all that, but I know she's a dickhead to my daughter. I know that. Do teachers abuse their power, Millie?
I think some of them. I don't think it's a majority. I definitely think it's a minority. But no, I definitely think that some do. They just. Kids are a lot. Like, I know when I was in school, I was a lot. Like, do you know what I mean? And whether it was the back chat or the misbehaving or the aggressiveness, do you know what I mean? Like, I know I was a lot in school. But then on the other hand, I was a kid. So you as an adult, you've gone into that profession, and your profession is to teach. It's not to try and have authority over me. It's not to... Do you know what I mean? It's just to teach, and that's it. And you want to teach because you have a passion to do that. So, but no, some teachers definitely, they've got a stick right up their ass.
They really have. And I feel like, if you don't get me wrong, sometimes you could be in a career, like, and I've been working with children now for like 13 years, yeah, and if I reach that point where I say, do you know what, like, these kids, that's when I'm leaving. Now, I'll be real with you. Let me just be transparent. That's when I'm leaving. Because, from the time I feel that way, yeah, I can't work with other people's children. Because if I'm feeling that way, then I'm going to project onto them. And I can't do that. I don't ever want to make a child feel away for no reason. I don't ever really want to make a child feel away anyway. Do you get me? Because there's no point. I'm always real with my children, and I always speak to them on a level and get down to their level and talk to them. I don't feel like it's good to sort of be authoritative and I'm the teacher and you have to listen to me, and I'll get down on a level and talk to them. But sometimes even like I see other teachers and they're just going on mad. They're moving mad, like this one, yeah, and a child there proper, like, don't get me wrong, the child is a little bit fuckery, yeah, but...
What age?
So this child is like about 7, yeah, and the child is a little bit nuts, that their behaviour is a bit mad, isn't it? But you don't know what's going on at home. You don't know what's going on in the environment or anything, so you just allow it, innit? You just carry on. But when that child is misbehaving, everyone's onto the child, and then if that child does something like that's really, really good, there's like a lack of praise from certain people, and then like this child was fighting to try and show the teacher, look what I've done, like I've done this, because like me and a few other teachers, like, gassed the child up, innit? And then they were trying to show this person who's always telling them off, and they turned around to them and said, so, and like literally, and you could see how deflated the child was, and they flung their work and then kicked off and was just mad for the rest of the day. And I just feel like that shouldn't happen. It just shouldn't.
Because you're a teacher, right? You know, that teacher training, do you go through, like, 'cause I feel like you need to go through psychology training or something to know how to...
I picked because I wanted to. I wanted to do it. It's not mandatory, and I feel like it needs to be mandatory, because you can't just be any person teaching other people's children. You can't do that. You've got to.
It's an important job, but that's why everyone's trying to into homeschooling now. That's like the new thing, right?
Yes. People are definitely into homeschool, and do you know what? There was a time where I even thought, do you know, if I had the time, I would do that shit myself, because some of the things that, like, my child comes and tells me, and I'm like, bro, is that what really going on in high school? That's mental.
Because I sent you that clip earlier. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
But the kids, they just can't express themselves. They're just saying what they think. They're not even allowed to do that.
Yeah, they haven't been, and that's what, like, I just feel like we should be inspiring our children to be free thinkers and to be able to express themselves in however which way that they choose. And sometimes it might not always be, I just don't think there's any right or wrong. Obviously, if the behaviour is bad, then you have to put things in place to fix that or to help that and eliminate it. But you just got to allow them to be free. And I think the more freedom you give them, the more they're inclined to kind of behave for you, really. If you...
Yeah, Gen Z are a bit nuts.
They're different.
With their TikToks and Snapchats, it's a lot.
They are a little bit. They are a little bit mad than some of these kids. Some of the things they do. Like, has anyone heard of that? Wattpad? Is it Wattpad or something? Where they can write, where they all write stories. Now, I had never heard much of it, and it's just my daughter told me about it, and I saw it on TikTok, innit? And basically, a Wattpad is like a community that writes like stories and fantasies, and it's basically children doing it, yeah. And my daughter told me, yeah, that one of her like sort of schoolmates, she had a Wattpad account with like 50k followers, and she wrote a whole story about like 2 pupils in the school and put teachers' names in there and put like all the different things that are related to that school in there.
We had fucking Keisha the Sket. We used to get that sent round by
Remember that? Yeah, remember that? Oh my god. But yeah, she did that. And it got leaked, like the teacher got wind of it, and now that child it's all mad. They put names in there and times and places, and obviously it's all fantasized, and do you know what I mean? But it's really, really in depth, and they're just out here moving mad. They are like my daughter's generation. I feel like they're going to be the generation to change shit, but they're also going to be the generation to fuck shit up too, because they're not mental. And they got no boundaries. They don't give a shit what they do or what they say, and then they'll always say, "I have rights." Like, I've had children tell me the UN Convention's rights of a child, paragraph such and such and such, says I'm allowed to have, and I'm like, right, you're right, I can't even say nothing to you. It's, yeah.
Yeah, I do think that, I feel like they've come to kind of cause chaos and that change the whole system that we're living in.
No, it's so true. Very, very true. Guys, what are your views in the, tell us in the comments, what are your views on, teachers and how they should be with children? And because it is a crazy generation. And I just look at the thing, if you look at it from, you go way back and then you look at it now, you can't even look at children sideways, literally. You can't. Shantae says, behaviours are often rooted to deeper levels of healing that must be acknowledged, transmuted and released over and over until the soul is satisfied and can exhale. Yeah, that's a deep one there.
So we need more like teachers that are kind of, more emotionally aware.
Yeah, you've got to be really emotionally aware to be able to deal with these children. Like, I sit and meditate with my children. I make them all sit in a surf, and I'm like, close your eyes, take a deep breath in, take a deep breath out, and we all do that. Do you get me? I'll make them balance every chakra that they've got, because it's just there's no balance. I feel like there's just no balance, and they're either way up here or they're just low. And
we have to remember what it's like to be that age as well, because we had a lot of pressure. So I think our age, like, the exam stress started to get a bit much.
Yeah.
For us.
Yeah.
But that was about it. But then now it's like they got the whole social pressure and exams and like money making. Like they're being forced to kind of be entrepreneurs and like.
Yeah.
So I feel like their stress is quite big.
It's like my daughter, she's 14 and my girl got a 5-year plan, She knows exactly what she's doing. She knows what she's going to do this. I'm going to pass my test and this is what I'm having and I'm going to do this job and I'm going to do. And I'm like, don't think about that. Just chill. Just enjoy your life. No, I need to think about it. You don't understand. Time's going to fly and I'm going to be there before I even know it. And I'm like, whoa, just.
But they don't have the hard work and the time it takes. They want to see someone with the Bugatti or like the front. card. They're like, oh, I need that, like, I'm
Now.
gonna have that by the end of the year. And
Yeah.
like, do you understand? Like,
There's a lot of pressure on them, and they put a lot of pressure on themselves because of how society is and because of what they're seeing. Like, do you get me? Like, when we was Mills, come on, we go out and just hang about and chill, chat shit. Do you get me?
Just flick a coin against the wall. That was it. Just flip the coin against the wall. But this is what it is, though. The kids these days are overstimulated. They are way overstimulated. Whether that's young kids that are watching, you know, all of these things on like Netflix and YouTube and Disney. Like, we didn't have that. Cool, we had like Nickelodeon, CBBC and stuff, but it wasn't. We didn't have tablets. We didn't have iPads. We didn't have like switches. We didn't have. Do you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't as accessible for us. Like where I live now, the kids can play like out in the back, and it's quite quiet. It's like a dead end road, and hardly anyone's ever out. But when I was a kid, we was always out. I was never in my house. I was always just out, sitting on the electric box, doing that fuckery. Do you know what I mean? Like, but it's not like that no more. Like.
But now they're just stuck on the like phones the whole day.
And then that's what it is as well. And then again, we have to realize, we have to remember, people are only posting online what we want them to see. So you've got some, you know, influencer who is born into money, whose family have took them on holiday to who knows where, but you're not seeing the pictures where they're posting with their family. You're seeing the pictures where their dad has rented something, a big car or a boat or something, but all you're seeing is them on the boat, and you're thinking, that's what I want. Bro, that's not even theirs. Like, but they're just not even the picture of it. And these children are they're like sponges. They just take everything in, and then it's like, I want that, and I need that. What do you need with a fucking like yacht, and you live on an estate? There's no water. You're nowhere near the sea, but you need a yacht to go where? Nowhere.
Yeah, to do what?
Okay, cool. Where are you gonna put it? You ain't even got parking space. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, your neighbours are still putting their bins out, waiting on the wall for their husband to come home, but you want a yacht. Okay, cool. To go where?
It's not.
Some of them are getting it because I mentor some like teenagers, and like even some of them now are like, they're messaging me like, oh, how do you meditate? Because they're realizing that they've got too much in their head.
And that's another thing. There's no space for them to then release that. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's no outside kids no more. There's no climbing trees or just running around and feeling free where your mind is not thinking about this, that and the third. Do you know what I mean? Like, when I was out in the estate, I wasn't thinking about my exams or what the other neighbour had or what trainers that person was like rocking. We were just all running about the estate, doing what we was doing, and that was that. Do you know what I mean?
Living your life.
Do you know what I'm saying? I wasn't thinking of anything else. Where now these kids are locked in their rooms, on their phones, tablets, whatever, on their PlayStation, and it's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot.
It is. It's like their brains are being fried by technology.
They are.
It's just they're consumed with advertising and all kinds of bullshit. I'm going to read a couple of these comments. So Shantae says, behaviours are often rooted to deeper level. No, I think, did I? No, I read that.
Yeah, you read that one.
Sorry, let me go. She says, I agree. Teachers need to be aware of themselves and others. Like how you said, walk away. If it gets to F these kids, that's a beautiful awareness of self, honestly, because it's mad, isn't it? Because you can't recognise that. And she says, we experience real connection, for real. Dan N, which is aka Sticky Fingers in hiding, and says, back in the day, going to Chocodero, remember Chocodero, Chocodero, and Shante says, I'm grateful that I came up and got to experience those connections with family and all peers. DJ Empress says, also is pissing me off. It keeps reading. Oh. You know what? Instagram is moving mad. It's been moving mad for the past few days. Yeah, it's mad.
Do you know what I was thinking as well? So while you was reading the comments, I was thinking, you know, like back in the day as well, like people now who have got. Why does it sound like the waves?
I know, what's that noise? Is that you, Richie?
I'm not sure. Let me mute myself.
It's you. Sounds like the waves. So
Definitely Richie.
imagine like back in the day, like if you had like more than one child, obviously it will make sense what's going on. But if you had like more than one child, they just had to share. You get me? Where now, like my mum, there was 3 of us under my mum's roof, and then I had other siblings as well. But do you think she was buying more than one PlayStation 1? Do you think she was buying more than one PlayStation 2? Like, no, she's buying one, and we have to take turns and wait for the controller. Do you know what I mean? And it was like whoever the loser is comes off, and we had to take it in turns. Nowadays, if you've got more than one child, they both have tablets, they both have Switches. One might have a PlayStation in their room, the other one's got a PlayStation in it. Like, there's no. So even if you do have siblings, you don't see them. You're living a single child life in a sibling household.
You get it?
It's mad.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah,
and you're texting each other like, I beg you get me a drink. Are you in the kitchen? Texting your mum from downstairs like, oh, bring me up this. I used to do, like when I lived in my mum's house, I'd call my mum, are you near the kitchen? And I know for a fact that I can hear her doing the washing up. Are you in the kitchen? Why? Oh, I beg you put this in the bottom of the stairs. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, or she'll call me, like it's dinner time. But when she can just shout, dinner, do you know what I'm saying? She'll call me, dinner, I'm coming. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's mad.
Yeah. Shantae says, Mills, that's so true. We had one Sega Genesis to game on. That's it. That is it. You know? And you have to wait. Like, do you know the way my Game Boy, got recycled? The way it got recycled through the family, then the Game Boy Color came out, that thing got recycled right the way down.
Trust me.
And you weren't getting a new one, but the upgrade came out. Like, what do you want that one for? You got one and it works, it's fine. It's crazy. But it's just like, I just feel like there are so much pressures, like, on everything, on the children, on the parents, on everyone to just do this and do that and get this and get that. And nah, man, just go and live. Because you know the reality of it is, you know when you're gone, you can't take none of that shit with you, you know. Don't get me wrong, it's nice to have nice stuff. Do you get me? If it's within your means and you can afford it or whatever, it's nice to say, you know, I worked hard and I've got myself things. But there's a difference between that and just actually keeping up with the pressures of society, really. I just think, it's just all a bit mad. Guys, I've actually got an Ask Millie this week, you know. Oh, God. Really, I got an Ask Millie.
I'm ready. I'm excited.
Very. I gotta find it. Oh
my God, I haven't done one of these in ages.
I know. This is just for you. Just for you, girl.
Oh, I'm excited.
I'm going to ask Richie as well, but I'm going to ask you first. Bear with me a second. I need to find it. Right. Okay. So, Millie. Your friend gives you £100 whilst you're at the casino, yeah? You then use that £100, you go play a little whatever, and you win £100,000, yeah? How much are you giving your brethren?
£100.
Wait, say it again.
So, your friend gives you £100, yeah? At the casino, you go and play a little something, and then you win £100,000. How much are you giving your friend?
How close am I to that friend?
You're real close, like your date dots. Billy.
£100. Sorry, for me, family comes first, and I've got my son. So yes, it's £100,000 or however much you said, and it sounds like a lot of money. But I've got to think about that. So like, let me invest in him. Do you know what I mean? Like, and then like, obviously, if you need something, ask me. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, if I didn't win and I lost that £100, I'm still going to need to give you that £100 back, regardless. Do you know what I mean? Like, regardless if I give it back to you when I get paid at the end of the month, or I say to you, oh, do you know what? I ain't got it this month. Can I give you 50 this month? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, so regardless, you're going to get your £100 back at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But you shouldn't feel entitled to get a share of the winnings because I use money that I borrowed from you. Borrowed means I'm giving it back. So I'm going to give you back your £100. Obviously, if I won the money and you was in a situation that I already like knew about, and do you know what I'm saying, to ease that like stress, cool, calm, have that. Do you know what I'm saying? But if I know that you're absolutely sweet and I've then won, I'm gonna give you £100 back, and then I'm gonna sort out my life.
Yeah.
Why do you feel entitled?
If it's my day one, I'm giving them £1,000.
Just £1,000, you know. You better give me 10 grand.
No, you're too entitled to get out of here.
Now, do you know what I said?
Because 100 G's is a lot of money.
It's a lot of money. But, however, so I asked this question in my household yesterday. I had my mum round, my brother round, and I said, my brother says, I'm giving them their £100 back. You are. And I think he said that because his birthday's the day before Millie's, and him and Millie are the same, yeah? So he said, I'm giving you back your £100. You can fuck off. I'm not giving you any more, yeah? I said, if it was a good friend, I'd probably give him 10 grand and say, oh, that, innit? Because 10 grand, you can spend that in a minute. That's gone. Do your thing, innit?
That's nice, yeah.
Go and have a little shop. Go and buy the shit that you really want to buy. Do you know what I'm saying? But if it's just, like, I just don't know them. Like, people do feel entitled, don't they? Because they're the people who are going to be, like, bitter about it. But I'm just thinking, if they gave you £100, they should just get £100 back.
No, because if I give you the £100 and you won, will you give it me?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I'm going to expect my £100 back, and that's it. I'm not going to expect you to give me. If you give me more, cool. But the type of person I am, I probably won't take it anyway. I'll just give it back to you. But I'm expecting my £100. So as long as we've squared that off, then we're cool.
Now, if you're good mates, man, you got to give them something.
Why?
You're there together. You're enjoying the whole thing together. It's not like you just met them today, and you're just paying them back. Like, you've known them for time.
I don't owe you nothing.
Don't you want them to enjoy a bit of the success, share the wealth, innit?
I don't understand the question.
Nah. Millie's like, nah.
I went bingo with my
sign?
mates. I'm Aquarius. I mean, like, no one borrowed me no money. Everyone paid for their own ticket. I won £500. Do you think I gave anyone any money? No. Everyone was like, oh, you're gonna buy a pound. No, I wasn't buying a pound anyway. Like, the fuck? No. End of. We're all still friends.
I feel like people feel entitled, don't they? Shante says, good job, Mills. That's all that's due. It's for real though, guys. In the comments, anybody in the comments, let me know, what would you do? How much would you be giving? I don't get why,
like, because again, you could, in your head, you could expect me to give you something, but don't then start acting away, because why do you feel entitled? We wasn't playing and enjoying the game, but the I don't know, the slip we handed over was in my name, so now I'm gonna run it. Like,
is that bitterness talking? Have you been like expected from in the past, so now you're not giving nothing?
No.
Nah, I'm a giver.
I'm literally a giver. Like, I've got people out there that owe me money, and one day, don't trust that karma will come and bite them lot on the ass. But I've got people out there that owe me money now.
Yeah, fuck them, because it's gonna come back. When it's sat in the house with no gas and electric, and the emergency done.
Trust me. All these people forgetting I know where they live.
I'm just generous. Plus I'm a man. We meant to give.
No, fuck that. Richie,
so.
Shante says, oh, Richie, you're a pushover. You just don't get us women. Richie, you're not.
I'm just nice.
You are. You're just a nice guy, and there's nothing wrong with you.
Do you know what? What if you give that friend 10 grand and they're still bitter because they're like, but you want 100? Then what? Because now I'm gonna have to box you in your face because you're rude, and I'm gonna take back my and I'm taking back the 100 as well because you're just rude. You're rude and you're disrespectful and you're fucking entitled, and I don't like it. So, do you know what I'm saying?
For me it's balance. If you gave them exactly what they gave you, that's one end. If you gave them like 10 grand, because 10 grand seems a bit much. That's a bit, because they didn't do anything for it. not paying them back, but if you give, I give him somewhere in the middle, but more towards the lighter end. So I give him £1,000. I don't think that's a lot compared to the £100 you just won.
Oh yeah, you were doing
got
£1,000. You were doing £1,000 still. Yeah, but still, imagine you gave them £1,000 and they were like, surely giving me 10 wouldn't be a den.
That's on them. That's on them. Then I have no guilt.
But what would you say? Say for instance, you did that and you gave them back £1,000. So guys, what we're saying is that the friend has given Richie £100 to spend at the casino. Richie has then turned the £100 into £100,000. Richie then gives the friend £1,000, and the friend says, "But you won £100,000. Is that all you're giving me?" Richie, what are you saying to that? Middle finger.
Me, I'm a fan myself with it and be like, I know I did.
I was like laughing all the way to the bank, babe. Sorry.
Tell them to catch me outside.
People are very entitled. I do think. Shantae says, "Do you know that?" I can't even see. Do you know what? Please, somebody read that because my eyes are. Yeah, the glasses are not.
I mean, it's a really long word. Do you know that? Etymology
of nice is stupid. Allow me with all that. I don't watch that.
Of nice,
you could be nice, kind, same thing.
Yeah. You are not nice. Kind, yes. Don't be nice. Although I say on this topic, your answer is quite like nice, chump. And GSXR, what was it? 1,000? Dan, basically. That's Dan. I'm gonna fuck the rest of it. Dan. Man like Dan.
Dan like Dan, you know.
Why? Dan said, me personally, I run 50-50.
Is it Dan? So if your friend, gave you £100, you flipped it, turned it into £100,000, you're giving them half, you know. Dan's saying he's giving them 50 G.
Dan, let's go casino. Let me buy you under. Let's go casino. Let's go that.
Listen, I'm giving you £100 now. You better flip that.
Dan, catch me outside. Let's go. I'll come pick you up. Let's go. Let's go.
See that right there is the difference between men and women.
Oh,
men want to give away. Women want to take.
Dan says, if it wasn't for their £100, I wouldn't have had the possibility of winning. Do you know what, Dan? You brought us back to reality. Yeah.
Not me. You got me in your life for the rest of your life. So is that not a gift? I mean,
Millie is the gift. Millie is the gift.
Well, because imagine if you gave me £1 and I put on, no, it's not even £1 no more. If you gave me like £2 and then I put on a lottery ticket and then I won, first of all, you expected the £2 back because I don't know about that one. But then are you expecting me to give you some of the winnings from the lot? Like, what?
No.
I want like.
You know what? Because I go on.
Do you get me? Chance and probability. So, I mean, do you want your £2?
I go on like universal principles. Like, so I feel like the more you give, the more you come back, more comes back to you.
100%.
So
and
I would feel bad if I didn't give much.
A McDonald's meal the other day. I felt well proud of myself. Then she had the tea, so I was the first a tenner. Bruv, I just spent £10 on your meal. Shut up. I didn't give her £10, but I got her the meal though.
I was going to say, don't tell me you didn't. Shantae says, feminine is a receiving energy, right? Dan said, boy, some people have other opinions. That's just me, though. Morally, it wouldn't sit right with me giving them £1,000. Okay. And Shantae says, we receive and multiply what's given. Doesn't mean another is entitled to it. Another fair point. It depends on the friend. Do you get me? It depends on the friend. If it's a real true friend type day one, I'll probably give them half in it because maybe not half. I don't know. I'll have to think about my child and stuff first. But I'm giving them a substantial amount. Do you get me? But if it's just any person who just feel like, well, there's £1 back in it. I just man.
Yeah, that's why I asked the question of like how close are you to the person?
Yeah, it's just yeah. Well, I'm not going casino with Millie. He told me to hold £10, yeah.
If I ever slide into DMs like, I think you bought me 100. Just know
You little £12, you actually know that. And Dan says, I don't borrow money off anyone. If I do, it's from my closest staff. For real, I don't borrow money. I don't. I can't do it. It's only my brother, and that's how. Did you get me? And it's even now.
I don't know if I've ever borrowed money from anyone before.
I don't need it. With my brother. Yeah, it's even my mum. I don't even. My brother, I'll say to him, "Oh, send me such and such, and I'll give you the cash." Because sometimes I just got bare cash. Or say, put this in my account and I'll give you the cash. But I can't, and then sometimes I can't even sleep knowing that the money's still on my mantelpiece. And I'm like, bro, you need to come and get your money. Like, what are you doing?
No.
Yeah, I don't know.
Back in the day when I didn't have my finances on point, I just used to extend my overdraft. I was just borrowing from the bank. I just kept extending my overdraft from the app. Do you know what I'm saying? But now my finances are in order. I don't need to do that.
Yeah,
I lower it now every month. I'm like, oh, let me take £100 off. Let me take £100
well,
off.
really, he's on point. Millie's on her game. He knows what he's doing.
Trust me, I wouldn't ask no one for shit. Do you know what? I think I was just too proud as well. So I just wouldn't do it. So yeah, I would just extend my overdraft. Just add an extra £100. Was what it was. No one ever knew. I was still flossing.
That's why you still got out here like you're boiling. To get me? Oh, it's all good. It is all good, guys. I'm not even going to do the last topic because I feel like we have no time to do it, and I feel like we need to speak a little bit more deeper on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to carry
it connects to the first one as well.
It does, and I'm gonna carry the one. Definitely carry the one. So we're gonna bring back the first topic and the final topic. We're gonna merge them together and bring another man on, and we are gonna talk about them. But guys,
when are you thinking about doing it in person? Sorry, before you end.
I haven't got a final date yet. I need to check with everybody when everybody's free and when it's
won't be until next month.
And I will give everybody, it's not going to be until next month, but I will give everybody a message and we will talk and we will decide what date we can do, and it's good for all of us, and we will definitely talk about that. I think it's definitely a face-to-face kind of topic. So yeah, I kind of want to do a thing where we maybe even record 2 podcasts in one day. So yeah, we'll keep that moving. But guys, for now, Richie, thank you so much for joining us again. It's been a pleasure having you on. Wasn't really sure about you when you started following and stalking and doing all them things, but you're actually a cool guy, and we do like you, Rich. We do like you. Millie.
Hi. Sorry, I get distracted so fucking easily. I saw a glitter and I was like, oh, sorry.
She's just an aquarium.
I was at my son's football match the other day, and their team was winning, and someone's going down the middle, going through everyone, and I'm recording, and then you just hear me be like, oh, a butterfly. And literally the camera follows the butterfly, and I missed the goal. So then when I sent it to the group, they were like, what was the, where was the, I said, I don't know, but did you see the butterfly? I'm useless. Fucking useless.
Well, he takes air sign to the extreme.
Literally, and you can hear my voice. I'm like, oh, butterfly. Oh. And then I'm there for ages with the camera, like, and you can hear everyone in the background, like, yeah. And then I'm like, and then I come back and I'm like, who scored? Did we score? They're like, was you not recording? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No, you're funny. Do you know when I posted you, and I put the post of you and said, this is Millie, blah, 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 blah. And you went, oh, shit, that's me, but I heard you.
And do you know what? I actually said it out loud because I was at work. And then I was like, oh, shit, that's me. Everyone's like, what? I said, oh, nothing. Don't worry about it.
Millie, we absolutely adore you. You're too much, lad. You're too much. Yes, guys. Thank you very much. This has been the Hold the Vision podcast, and it's actually episode 3. I know what's going on now because I'm actually keeping up. Guys. I'm doing well. Oh my god, Shalette. Oh my god, this is so pretty.
Thank you.
Look at this face on there with the tongue out. That's it.
I know. Fuck all of y'all. But come back next week.
Shante says, before we go, Shante says, I had fun with your old Richie. Is tonight giving you flashbacks of you managing multiple women's opinions and emotions. You love it, yeah.
Hey,
No,
I
she's
like her, you know.
exposing you. I
She's
love her.
mad.
She's exposing you. She says she loves your nails, Millie. Oh, Shante, we love you, man. You have to be in the comments. You'll have to come on with us 1 week as well. It'd be great to have you on. But guys, for now, thank you very much. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Follow the YouTube page to keep on with the episode, because Chidi is actually keeping on top of now, because I'm a newbie.
I like
Peace,
this.
love, and fuck y'all.